For everyone that doesn't understand what's really going on with Ibrahim here, I'm going to let the Merc, who's a very bright man, break this all down to us in layman's terms. Check this out.
So is in danger. And the usual suspects, the United States, are up to their usual games. I'm going to tell you what they've accused him of and why. I'm going to give you the exact step-by-step playbook they use against African leaders and how every one of you, from Africa to Black America, can help protect the greatest president Africa's had in generations. Pay attention.
I don't mind calling them out, but Captain Traore and Burkina Faso, as they know that their gold reserves are just in exchange to protect the junta regime.
That was General Michael Langley, commander of U.S. Africa Command. He is the mouthpiece accusing Captain Traore of stealing gold from his own people. Take note of that, because I will return to this important detail later in this video. So they say Traore is abusing his own people, yet Burkinabes aren't complaining. They're celebrating the man who builds the country's first national gold refinery. Takes basic pay, no mansions, no Rolexes, no luxury cars. If he's stealing, where's the evidence? There is none. They've never needed evidence when it comes to Africa. In 1983, Thomas Sankara took power in Burkina Faso through. In just months, he made the country food self-sufficient, vaccinated millions, built schools, empowered women, and warned Africa. He who feeds you controls you. 4 years later, Sankara was assassinated by his own friend, Blaise Compaoré. That's traitor to Africa. He ruled Burkina Faso for 27 years up until 2014. The West didn't call him a criminal and worked with him for almost 3 decades. In 2022, Captain Traore took power in Burkina Faso. In just 2 years, he built the country's first gold refinery, kicked out French troops, launched free education for all his citizens, signed a nuclear energy deal with Russia, built affordable housing for low-income communities, and formed the Sahel Alliance with Mali and Niger to defend African sovereignty. The Western media have not reported on a single one of these amazing deeds. Search Google and all you will see are articles about unrest and his government labeled a military junta. France had 100 years in Burkina Faso, and they didn't do what Traore has done in less than 2. This is Anthony Blinken, former U.S. Secretary of State. That is Gabon's General Brice Oligui Nguema, who took over Gabon in a coup. Nguema ousted Ali Bongo, whose family ruled Gabon for over 56 years with French support. I don't believe it was a real coup. I believe it was a changing of the guard, because I found out Nguema is actually Ali Bongo's cousin. This is literally a family affair. Blinken, the same man who accused African Stream of working with Russia and had them deplatformed everywhere, is here welcoming a coup leader to Washington. The US government then gave this coup leader millions of dollars for his presidential campaign. Last month, Nguema won that election and is now president of Gabon. He hasn't done a 10 of what Traore's done for his people. 2 coup leaders, one the US calls a criminal, the other is welcomed to the White House. Africans, Black America, they're playing us for fools. I will now give you the African Leader Elimination Playbook. Burn this into your minds. Phase 1, discredit the leader and label their government illegitimate. Gaddafi was called a dictator before they bombed Libya. Phase 2, sanction and bully the leader and his nation into submission. ECOWAS was pushed by the West to sanction Mali and Niger after their coups and rejection of France. Phase 3, destabilized through sudden random coup attempts and unrest. Lumumba faced chaos in Congo before his CIA-backed assassination. Gaddafi faced endless unrest before his execution. Phase 4, claim human rights violations against the leader and his government. Gaddafi, Lumumba, Mugabe, and Saddam Hussein were accused of abusing their own people to justify intervention and the restoration of democracy by the West. These claims in recent decades are typically pushed by a black person to absolve claims of racial prejudice. They sent Colin Powell after Saddam. Obama took down Gaddafi. Now Langley is being sent to take down Traore. It's so transparent, it's insulting. Phase 5, arm opposition and insurgencies and call them freedom fighters in the media. People forget Osama bin Laden was a CIA asset in the 1980s with the Mujahideen, the same people who later became Al-Qaeda. Phase 6, remove or eliminate that leader using his own people. Sankara was assassinated by Compaoré, his friend. Lumumba betrayed by Congolese rivals. Gaddafi lynched by Libyan rebels. Phase 7, oversee democratic elections to install and maintain a West-friendly leader. These leaders then stay in power for up to half a century, while the West calls it democracy. Obiang, Equatorial Guinea, 46 years in power. Biya, Cameroon, 43 years in power. Bongo, Gabon, 42 years in power. Museveni, Uganda, 39 years in power. Ungweso, Republic of the Congo, 39 years in power. Kagame, Rwanda, 25 years in power. These are things the people of no Western nation, including the US, would tolerate. Imagine Trump staying in power for 46 years and claiming it to be Democrat. That is what they've pushed on us in Africa since they allegedly gave us independence. Some of these African presidents are in their 80s and 90s now and have been in power longer than most of their citizens have been alive. Notice not one of these African leaders have spoken in defense of Captain Traore. Not one of them have supported him. Tinubu of Nigeria joined forces with other West African leaders to sanction Traore and his allies in Mali and Niger. It is truly embarrassing. They tell us Russia and China are evil, but history tells us Russia and China never colonized or enslaved us. History tells us they built roads, railways, energy plants, refineries, and telecommunications across Africa, while the West built debt, division, and dependency on their monetary systems. Ask yourself, do you care more about what a person might do to you or what they have and are doing to you? America, Black America, the United States government does this to Africa in your name. If you say no, they lose their mandate and moral high ground. Because if even their own people won't believe their lies, what excuse do they have left? Now, and this is important, we cannot have another Blaise Compaoré. It must be made clear any African who harms Captain Traore will face consequences. Their family names will be forever destroyed. Their children, grandchildren, and associates will become persona non grata across all of Africa. They will not be welcome anywhere on this continent. We as Africans must have a code. Anyone who betrays the people cannot sit as president enjoying the spoils of their treachery. They want Captain Traore gone not because of what he is doing, but because of what he is inspiring. Imagine if he were president of Nigeria. It would change the entire world. And that's what they fear. That a little boy or girl somewhere in Africa is watching Captain Africa and one day will grow into a man or woman who rises to take up Traore's shield. A continent, Black Africa, that no one's ever looked out for. That one by one, African Avengers will rise and assemble across the continent for generations to come. Every time they eliminate one, 10 more rise in their place, stronger and more resolute. That is what they fear. A man can be locked up, destroyed, but if he devotes himself to an ideal, he becomes something else entirely. He becomes legend.